let's start it off. There we are. So first of all, welcome everybody. There we go again. It's Lucid Dreaming Part 2. And I see that a couple of people ask if Part 1 is needed to understand this one. No, it isn't. You don't worry. Yeah, I think you will understand today's topics without actually having listened to Part 1. Part 1 was about the basics, the applications, the mechanics of getting conscious in your dreams, which is what lucid dreams are, and basic techniques to actually achieve that. Today, the plan is to talk about draconic experiences with lucid dreams, possible applications for dragons, of course, and also otherkin in general, as I see them now. And well, I mean, I've only started the journey myself, but I just think a few things are worth sharing already. And well, I would like to share because I would like to give you an idea about what you can expect from lucid dreaming and from the training if you should choose to do it yourself. Okay, then there is a disclaimer. Today I'll be talking about doing things that are impossible in the physical world. Things that are done in lucid dreams, and we know they feel insanely real, namely physical shifts. So doing physical shifts in lucid dreams, it feels like the real deal, but of course it isn't actual physical shifting. I'm only still talking about dreams. Always remember that. Okay, so I think there are a few special things when it comes to my experience. Voice. So first of all, of course, I'm a dragon, so I would like to use lucid dreams to do dragony things. You know, flying, feeling the wind under my wings, feeling my claws scratching the floor, transforming my body into a dragon, look at it in the mirror, touching my tail, and so on and so on. And to some extent, I've done all these things already, but I know it can only get better. An ideal lucid dream feels as real as if you were awake. So I want to do all of this as real as it can get. By the way, I found that most other lucid dreamers seem to do human-y things, yeah. So, which is, I think, quite boring. I mean, why be a human in your dreams if you can be anything? I just don't really understand that. Okay, then the second thing is that I want to learn about myself, and especially my relation to dragons, and to the world in general. Mainly I'm trying to do it by talking to dream entities and other dragons, if there are any. So that goes deeply into spiritual topics, and that's also where things get very serious, because it seems that in the yoga tradition, lucid dreams have been used to transform your waking life and to assist what Buddhists call awakening in real life. And there is lots of metaphysical questions that come across. And I'll come back to them in just a minute. Okay, let's start with the basics again. The dream diary. So if you remember yesterday, we've learned that this is essential. So I do have one, but I don't write down everything and all the details anymore. I used to do that. I have the dream diary since about 2 years, I think. So that's far longer than I'm actually training lucid dreaming targetfully. The thing is that, especially when I'm not in vacation, time for sleeping is limited, of course, and I really want to get enough sleep. So that is actually a hindrance for the training, yeah, because, well, lucid dreaming training, it takes some additional time. There's no way around it. But still, I mean, I do have a reasonable dream memory, and I had quite a large collection of dreams already. So I was able to identify my dream signs very quickly. And that is actually the beginning of the process. You need to learn how do my dreams look like, what are the dream signs. Most of my dream signs fall into the context class. If you remember, we had 4 different classes of dream signs. And well, in my case, there are quite a few specific ones. Being in my old school, for example, well, at the age of 43, then you don't get there often, yeah. So it's pretty much a sign of having a dream. Meeting school friends, yeah. So that's the same. Meeting my deceased grandpa, that's obvious. But there are a couple more. It's just a few. Okay. So the next basic thing is the sleep schedule, and there is also something special in my case because I apply a non-standard sleep schedule, also about for maybe 2 years, I think. So I've got a graphic for that. That's actually the one I showed yesterday. So on the left side, you see the standard sleep cycle. I just put 8 hours in there because yeah, that's pretty much standard. And by the way, this is a 24-hour clock. Yeah, so midnight is above at the top, and 12 o'clock is down. And then on the right side, you see a biphasic sleep pattern. Oh no, sorry, not yet. That is the wake back to bed sleep pattern. Yeah, so that's recommended to have more lucid dreams in the morning to introduce a pause where you are awake and set the intention to become lucid. Okay, so that is still standard. My sleep pattern looks like this. Here, look on the left side. I'm doing actually a shorter sleep period during the night and another short sleep period during the day. So that is called biphasic. And that works pretty well. I actually started it just out of curiosity, but I liked it. It's actually meant to make you able to sleep less, but I just kept it at 8 hours for this one. Yeah, just to keep that stable. Okay, now on the right side, you see that I introduced the wake back to bed period just as it was before. Yeah, so I mean that cuts down the main sleep period to 4 hours, and then there's a break, and then there are additional 2 hours. And yeah, the day sleep phase, it just stays the same. Good. Let me just pick up my script. Okay, so that's it. Actually, the dream-induced lucid dreams are supposed to happen in the morning. Yeah, so that somehow worked, but I'll come back to that in a minute. And the day sleep phases, you can see that I tagged a part of it to be a lucid dream target period. That's because you remember sleep onset REM, that REM sleep phase that might happen shortly after you go to bed. So in the REM phases, we are able to have lucid dreams. Well, that typically seems to occur during the day sleep phases. Because what I almost always experience at the beginning of these phases, I'd like to describe it as diving in and out of dreamlets, of short dreams. And I can really feel like it's like diving in and out of water. And that is actually almost a surefire way to have wake-induced lucid dreams with typically out-of-body experiences, and sometimes even multiple ones in a row. Technically, these are both lucid dreams and out-of-body experiences, and maybe, if you like, you could even call them astral travels. So I'm usually able to roll out of my physical body and then stand up from the bed and perform typically some dragon transformations, walk through the house, or walk outside and fly away from Loki. But actually, I'm not sure what is happening there. If these lucid dreams happen in sleep onset REM or in the NREM1 phase, that is the hypnagogic phase you reach first after you go to bed. And if it is the latter, are they actually lucid dreams? or are these called yeah, something else? Yeah, I don't know. In any case, I have to tell you, it's quite striking what you can do in just 45 minutes after going to bed. As I said, I did flying transformations, I did phone calls to the subconscious, and well, I would say that I'm almost able to induce out-of-body experiences at will, which is absolutely awesome. And I found that concentrating on my phantom tail, it often results in an out-of-body experience. I have no idea why, but well, I will take it. I like it. Okay, so this is that. Next thing is dream checks. We discussed dream checks yesterday. So they are actions that tell you if you're dreaming or if you're awake. Actually, well, that's what they are supposed to do. But I find it very difficult to confirm that one is not dreaming. So to speak scientifically, dream checks rarely produce false positives, but may produce a lot of false negatives. Let's see. If you can levitate, for example, well, that's pretty clear you're dreaming. However, if you're not able to levitate, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are awake. Yeah, you could be able to not levitate in a dream as well for some reason. So that's not really safe. On the other side, the waking world is quite much characterized by consistent and kind of hard or crisp stability of sensual inputs. Yeah, there is also cross-sensory stability and expectation matching. That's what I call it. So what I mean is, if you see an object in the waking world, then you can usually touch it, and the sensation from the touch will match your expectation, and that pretty much happens all the time. It may happen in lucid dreams or in dreams as well, but it may also not. Yeah, so that's the thing. Actually, the thing is, I can remember that when I once had an experience, I just didn't know if I was dreaming or not, and I was still lying in bed, so I was grabbing the bed frame with my hand, just to see if it was stable and firm and hard as it should be, or if I could just phase through it somehow. Yeah, so I tried to phase through it, and or net it a bit, yeah, to see if it would give way. Well, it was completely firm and solid and so on. So just like in the waking state. So I concluded that I was awake. But it was wrong. It was wrong. That wasn't the case. I was dreaming. Yeah. So, and that's the problem with the dream checks. They just produce false negatives. Yeah. So basically, it's good to do a couple of dream checks. Levitation is actually a good thing. Well, there's one better thing, but I'll come back to that. Well, but it also opens up quite a metaphysical question. You know, the weird thing is, even if things are not physical in a lucid dream, they still feel real. So it opens a question about the nature of reality. I think the feeling real, it doesn't seem to be defined by strict consistency and cross-sensory stability, because there might be things in lucid dreams that feel like that are consistent, but also sometimes they are not. I mean, sometimes we can phase through things and walk through closed doors and so on. That's typical for lucid dreams, but it still feels real. I mean, if you walk through a door, it still feels like really doing it. And also, of course, in a lucid dream, objects might feel real, but they don't exist. They are not physically there. So that raises the question: how is reality defined? What does it tell us about the nature of reality? And to me, it all leads back to the Buddhist idea of impermanence. It says that reality is not what's physically out there, but is all mind created. And well, in that sense, the waking world is still a dream. And I'm pretty much on that track. But okay, back to the training. Let's take a look at dream-induced lucid dreams, which are expected to happen in the morning. I have to say my success with them is not too good. It's honestly a bit frustrating. Let's see. Okay, that is still online. Take a look at this chart. It actually shows the frequency of my lucid dreams since beginning of the training, and each of the little bars is showing the amount of lucid dreams I had in one day. And as you can see, while I was still on vacation, that's the green part, I made 9 lucid dreams in 7 days. And over half of them were dream-induced lucid dreams. And that is awesome. That is totally awesome. So after I return to work, and mind you, I only do half time, and I most of the time do home office. Yes, I'm lucky. It took me 14 days to get the same number of lucid dreams. So I figured out that something was happening. And then since February, numbers have dropped even more. That made me a bit upset, to be honest. I mean, I really pondered about the reasons a lot, and I couldn't pinpoint any. That was what made me upset. I mean, there's got to be a reason for that. I mean, this is just far too significant, I think. And I know that if I can pinpoint this problem, then I might come back to what I achieved in the beginning. Yeah. So something has to be corrected here. So what could it be? Maybe it's too much stress still, yeah, from the work, which would be a bit alarming because the work isn't that stressful, at least I think. Maybe I don't get enough sleep. That is very likely, to be honest. So I'll need to work that out in the coming weeks. Maybe I tried too hard. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Fact is that I didn't yet find a technique that would reliably induce lucid dreams in the morning. And I've tried a lot. I've tried different types of affirmations before falling asleep. I've even placed some, well, more or less subliminal messages in my apartment. Didn't work. Actually, on the contrary, if I repeat an affirmation to get lucid too hard before falling asleep, it may lead to a kind of rest, active consciousness during sleep. And that feels quite awkward. It doesn't feel like sleeping at all. It feels as if you're not truly crossing a limit from waking to dreaming state, but are still staying somewhat conscious. That's not too comfortable, and it doesn't lead to lucidity at all. Oh, and then there is the mild technique. You remember the complicated one that needs training for detecting memorized events I explained yesterday. Events like next time I see a bird, I do a dream check, and you practice them for 1 week until you actually can detect most of the events during a day. Well, that's a bit counterintuitive for me, if I'm honest. I mean, I might have to repeat that training, but the training in itself is problematic. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're supposed to actively look for the events, and it does happen. I mean, you are memorizing 4 events at the beginning of each day, and as soon as you did that, you will actively look out for them. Yeah, if one of them is next time I see a bird, I'll do a dream check. You will all the time. You will look for birds. Yeah. But is it actually meant to be like that, or is it actually meant to burn the events into your subconscious so that they are triggered without active searching for them, which also happens? Yeah, it does happen somehow automatically. Of course, that's much harder, but it still works. And then the affirmation, the mild affirmation, before you actually go to sleep or until you fall asleep, you are supposed to tell yourself, next time I'm dreaming, I will realize that I'm dreaming. Well, it is somehow recursive. I honestly don't know why it works. Next time I'm dreaming, so you have to somehow know that you are dreaming. I will realize that I'm dreaming. So, okay, in order to realize that you are dreaming, you first have to know that you are dreaming. Yeah, I honestly don't know why it works, as I said. I don't know why it just doesn't say, well, next time I see a dream sign, I will do a dream check. That would be straightforward. I don't know why it was put that way. Anyhow, my critical faculty, so that is that consciousness part that makes us critically ask about things that we experience. It just doesn't seem to care if I'm dreaming. So we know it's actually deactivated during the dreams, and the training is aimed to activate it, but it doesn't seem to care. Maybe I need to try harder, but for most of the time, it seems I just want to observe and enjoy the dream. And that opens another metaphysical question. Well, I definitely feel that there is something that observes the dream. I like to compare dreaming with sitting in a movie theater and watching a movie, but who is actually sitting there? Well, you might argue, how it's of course it's yourself. But are you sure? I mean, what is the relation between the observer and that which is observed? Should we maybe focus on learning about the observer instead of the dream content? I mean, meditation practitioners know that the observer is also present in waking life, and I can feel this as well. Is it the same observer? I think it is, but I'm not totally sure. And then what happens to the observer when a dream gets lucid? Does it disappear? Does it get part of the dream? Or is it still sitting there watching? So is getting lucid just a shift of focus? And if the observer is still sitting there watching, could you maybe interact with the observer from within your lucid dream? Maybe by talking to a kind of higher order force or something? And that's interesting because it has been done. You can actually ask questions to the dream master or something like that from within a lucid dream, and it seems to work. So is that the observer, or is that yet another entity? I don't know. I'm just asking questions, you see. I don't know. What I know so far is that the observer, it just seems to enjoy a good story, and it has different modes of handling that story. So it can be just a completely passive observation without any intention of influencing the dream and any awareness that it is a dream. And then next stage, the observer may also try to influence the dream without being part of it. And then the next stage, the observer can somehow project itself into the dream, usually by identifying with the dream character, and modify the dream from that specific perspective, but still without actually being too much aware that it is a dream. The same can also happen having that knowledge, or at least borderlines having the suspicion that it is a dream. And then finally, there is full lucidity, full immersion, full awareness, when the observer seems to disappear, stand up from their seat in the movie theater, and be part of the movie, which then becomes real. And that, in my opinion, is the spectrum from passivity to lucidity. And this gets me to a realization that I find very, very important, and I never saw it documented anywhere. I mean, maybe it's not that important, but I just stated. I believe that for becoming really lucid, realizing that you are dreaming is not enough. I think it's like realizing that you are watching a movie, but that doesn't make the movie real. If you want to be part of the movie, you have to do something. You have to stand up and you have to walk into the movie screen and get in there. You have to take action. Otherwise, you will still sit there and think, oh yeah, well, it's a dream. well, let's watch it. Nice story. Don't want to disturb. So no matter how many dream signs, no matter how inconsistent it gets, you just don't care. And that happened to me more than once. It might be connected to being too tired, just don't want to get active. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know yet. What also might happen is you might realize it is a dream, but you might not know what to do with that knowledge. So you're surprised, and you might just get distracted by the dream action, and that, yeah, then it doesn't play any role, or you just bluntly wake up because you are so surprised. Typical beginner problems, I see. Yeah, it happened to me as well. So actually, you see that the time window for doing that additional action, that stand up and make the thing real, it is very short, and that's what makes it hard, of course. And in addition, it gets me to one of the most fascinating questions: what exactly is that action that in your mind literally creates a reality from what was just a blurred vision compiled by schemes and imaginary images supposedly stored in your unconscious? So what is the mechanics of the emergence of a lucid reality? And is that somehow connected with physical reality? Does it maybe work the same way? And that's just, this is, I want to know these things. Yeah, I mean, I have to look it up. Maybe the dream yoga people know something about it. I don't know. I just want to know. Okay, back to the real things. Well, so it is very hard to get lucid, but still I made it a couple of times. I actually usually write down the duration in seconds, the number of contacts to dream entities, and the level of my visual impressions, just to have some metrics here. And I do that for every lucid dream. According to my experience, good visuals are hardest to obtain. And that is also backed by my source, yeah, LaBerg's book. And about visuals, I figured something very important. What happened a lot to me that I got lucid. I stood out of my bed, and I tried to switch on a light switch because it was all dark, and it wouldn't work. So figured out the reason. It might be simple. You just need to open your eyes. You need to open your dream eyes, of course, but that is easier said than done because the brain performs the same muscle activation action as in the waking state. And your eye muscles are unfortunately not fully disabled during sleep. Yeah, they can be moved consciously from a lucid dream. Yeah? So you might open your real eyes if you do that action in a lucid dream. And that's what makes me really reluctant when it comes to opening my eyes. However, when I am successful, I might have really vivid and super colorful visuals. I mean, something like 8 on a scale up to 10. So that happened to me once. It actually was one of my best lucid dreams. Stood up out of my bed. It was an out-of-body experience again, and I walked to the window of my room. I opened it up, and then I realized, hey, I should open my eyes to see something. And I had the most colorful vision. I could see all the landscape, and I would have to say it was more colorful than in waking life. It was like you crank up the saturation of the image, yeah. And I was actually able to jump out of the window, yeah, to be sure that you are dreaming, of course, and fly away, yeah. And that was really a great thing. I was flying a bit too fast and crashed into a tree, but yeah, well, it actually threw me out of the physical body. And that was also very interesting because I was just, after I crashed into a tree, I found myself a couple of meters far away, yeah, so in front of the tree. And I was just bodiless. I was just only consciousness. So I focused my attention to the tree, and under the tree I saw a dragon. So that shows again that actually the brain creates what it expects. Yeah. So I was flying there as a dragon and crashed into the tree. So I saw that dragon lying under the tree. Uh, quite a good learning, I think. Okay. That wasn't even in my script, but anyhow. Dream entities. We are talking to dream entities. I had a few notable encounters and also some tries to call the unconscious by phone. Do you remember yesterday I explained that in my room there is obviously some kind of phone device. Uh, and it's not there all the time, but I think I found it 3 or 4 times. So it also seems to have a kind of mailbox, and I can listen to it. But last time there wasn't anything notable on there, just the music. Um, and other occasions I had a phone call to some people in Australia or something. And then also there was a kind of mature phone line. Well, there seems to be all sort of crap on there. I just don't know. But I think I can also use it to targetfully phone someone. And next time I might try to phone dragons. Just see what happens. Apart from that, of course, there are also real dream entities that are just walking around in the dreams. And some of them are rather dull and don't seem to have any idea what's going on. Others seem all knowing and they emit an aura of angels or great masters. And those, I have a feeling that they can induce lucidity themselves. I've had one time such an entity actually hinted to me that I was dreaming. And as soon as I became lucid, that entity gave me a very personal message, which was important to me. And that is something that is not usual. According to LeBerg, dream entities, they usually say, well, if you go and tell them, hey, this is a dream, they usually say, nah, that's not a dream, you're kidding. Or they just don't know and just shrug shoulders and so on. But a dream entity actually telling you that you're dreaming, that seems to be not so common. Okay, we're almost done. But there's some very interesting thing: transformations. Well, I love them. Transformations in lucid dreams, they're just great. I did, let's see, claws, tail. I love my tail. Digit grade feet. Boy, it feels so great to walk digit grade if you have the proper feet. That is really great. Um, Snout growing. Yeah, I love to boop my own snout. I think transformation is trainable and it's a lot of fun. It feels like shape-shifting training. I always find the brain is a bit in the way because apparently it tries to grow limbs and so on, and it always tries to grow human things. The strange thing is that it accepts phantom limbs pretty easily. In my case, I can do dragon tail, claws, and feet, and I can do that easier than for example, blue colored scales. Yeah, changing the color is very hard. Growing scales is also very hard. Um, about the tail, I don't think I need to tell you just how satisfying it is to reach down your own spine with your hand and touch your own dragon tail. That is so great. I love to do that. I mean, it feels absolutely real, and it's one of my favorites. It's fairly easy to obtain for me because I actually have quite a strong phantom tail. I can feel it all the time when I'm walking around in waking life. Um, and it's also a very good dream check. Yeah, so what I'm actually usually doing as a dream check is just to reach down there and feel if I can feel a tail, I'm definitely dreaming. Yeah, okay, so that's just a hint. I don't know if it works with other phantom limbs. I pretty much guess it does. Okay, so to conclude, some future ideas. Well, I would like to make my lucid dreams more stable, first of all. And yesterday I read that experienced lucid dreamers, they can do 10 or even 15 minutes. And the longest I ever did was about 1 minute. So I'd be very happy to do 5. Well, there are some ideas for improvement. One thing is surely the sleep schedule, and one can go really crazy. Look at this. This is a quad-core sleep pattern. And people have been doing this, so it's possible. So you could do 4 sleep phases and spread them evenly throughout the day. That's the left side, or on the right side, you see you could concentrate them at nighttime. Am I crazy enough to try this? Maybe. Maybe I'll know until other can. Yeah, we'll see. So of course, it potentially opens up the opportunity for 4 lucid dream target periods, but I don't really know what will happen here. Maybe there will be sleep onset REM. Maybe there will be more wake-induced lucid dreams. Maybe if the periods are concentrated in the night, there could be wake back to bed like dream-induced lucid dreams. I don't know. I mean, I might just try it in my next vacation and see how it goes. Yeah, I won't try it when I'm not on vacation. Obviously, that's just too hard. Okay. Another thing I feel that in a lucid dream, the brain tries to perform things it knows from the waking state, and it can be very stubborn. Yeah, that thing always gets in the way. So I think it needs to be outsmarted. Research says that the ability to influence the dream world is greatly influenced by expectation. And that, I think, apparently makes it hard to transform yourself into a dragon in your own living room. Because the brain just doesn't expect you to be a dragon there. The environment just doesn't fit. It might be easier to do this in a dragon-like environment. And from my experience, I can confirm it. I mean, body transformations are still hard because the brain tries to actually perform the transformation as if it were awake. So as I said, for me, it's rather easy to grow a tail because the brain seems to perform a kind of limb growing action, and it basically knows how to do that. So growing claws, that's similar to growing your nails, apparently. Digit-grade feet, it's also possible, relatively easy. What I also tried once is transforming your arms into metal. Actually, I tried to transform them into swords and cut through things. Yeah, that is more difficult. I actually succeeded. And by the way, for that it might be the better option to try and just do the things you want to do when you are transformed and not focus so much on the transformation. Just try to do the things with your transformed body. And in that case, oftentimes, I think the body will just follow. Yeah. So that's actually what I tried, transforming my arms into swords. I did that here in my living room. Of course, still dreaming, and there is a wooden pillar in my living room, and I just cut through it with my sword arms. So that worked quite well. I'm happy that it didn't fall apart here. So, what's extremely hard for me is to grow a dragon head. And I mean, a head that correctly reacts to touch, snoot, poop, and so on. Also hard, convert the body color into blue or grow scales instead of skin. Yeah, the brain just doesn't seem to know how to perform it. So I think it needs shape-shifting training. I maybe should take shape-shifting classes. Yeah, so maybe the shape-shifters in the room can give me some advice. But what I actually would like to try is to train this waking state. There are a couple of approaches. It could be done using gear. I mean, scale gloves or so on, just to get the brain accustomed to how scales feel. Actually, a fursuit could be another option. I'd love to hear about lucid dreaming experiences by fairies. The thing is, do they dream to be their persona in the lucid dream? Does it work? But then there is another very, very attractive way, and that might be virtual reality. Imagine VR chat with a dragon avatar. Take a look at those. These are from TokyoZilla. And just take a look at that. They are so gorgeous. They are practically perfect. Look at the blue one. I mean, for me, you remove the hair and maybe the ears, but you can keep them. I love them. They are basically almost perfect. So you can get them for VR chat. And I just wonder what a few hours of gaming in a tailor-made virtual world with that avatar might do to shift the brain's expectation. Yeah, and now it gets really crazy. Just imagine that. Could it be possible to recreate that virtual VR chat world, including that dragon body, for yourself to be in a lucid dream, having all your senses, being able to do what you want in there, and all feeling absolutely real? Oh boy, if I could do that, I wouldn't need physical shifting anymore. And this is better, because you can do what you want in there. Is it asked for too much? Maybe. But I say let's aim high and see where we can go. So I will definitely try this. I just need to get the hardware first. And actually, first I would like to make my lucid dreaming a bit more stable. Make the lucid dreams longer. So that's the main task for now. And then I will definitely try this out. And there has been research about virtual reality and lucid dreams. You can look it up in the internet. There's a lot of research on lucid dreams, and this is just one of them. So definitely virtual reality, it does do something. It does do something. Has something like this been tried before? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. As I said, most people do humany things in lucid dreams, and that transforming into a dragon, it's pretty far off, I think. Yeah, maybe it was done. I don't know, but I just didn't see it. So that's the end of my script, and I think we're pretty well in time, just like yesterday. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat again. There we are. Okay, I see now. That is just okay. Now I got it. I'm just going in at the top of the chat and see what was discussed because I couldn't read it. Yeah, always be a dragon. That's right. Yes, I am doing presentation slides professionally. Of course, I'm a scientist. I've done a lot of scientific conferences and talks and so on. So I don't mind speaking before the crowd. Actually, I love it. It's really fun. Then do just as am I a dragon as a check? Yes. Only. Well, I don't transform into dragon automatically. Also, tips: slow transformations tend to be unstable. Transform as fast as possible. Just instantly become a dragon. Whoa! If I just could do that, maybe it helps if I just yeah. I mean, if I just fly away, yeah, run to the street and fly away, then I will become a dragon more or less instantly. But yeah, I did that once, and that wind on the wings feeling that was really great. Oh, hang on. I think I forgot something. Why isn't that in the script? Oh, hang on. Never mind. I just mentioned it now. So what I did try is to make my lucid dreams more stable and keep in there longer. So one of the techniques, I mentioned it yesterday, is to spin around your own axis. Well, I've tried that, and it just makes me dizzy. So I basically I usually wake up, yeah. So it doesn't work. But isn't that strange? I mean, you in the lucid dream, you are spinning around your own axis of which doesn't exist physically. You spin around your own body, which doesn't exist physically, and you are getting dizzy. Isn't that strange? But then, when I prepared the script today, I figured out that is actually great because it means that your sense of balance is fully active. Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't get dizzy. And that is great news for flying exercise. Yeah, if you fly up and down, if you fly sideways, you will feel all the G-force. You will feel it definitely. It's another sense. Yeah, so it is definitely there. That is great. Okay. Still some discussion about the dream science was going on. Instantaneous transformations. I think I never had them. If you ask a bird if you're dreaming and he answers you are dreaming, well, I wouldn't suppose they do all the time. Mm. Boring dreams. I'm just scanning for questions. Okay. Have you tried to find or make a door and walk through and out of the room? Oh, that was an answer to a question. Yeah, I mean, one might also create doors. One might even create dimensional doors. I didn't try it yet, but I pretty much guess it's possible. It could be a way of changing the dream scene. Okay, and then there's something about nightmares. Yeah, I've read that nightmares are possible in lucid dreams, and that might be somewhat uncomfortable, of course, but I'll just take the risk. Using your dream hands to pull open your dream eyes. Dream eyes. Yeah, the thing is that I'm really reluctant to open my dream eyes because I always fear that the real eyes will open. And it happened to me once. So it can happen. Okay. Mm, okay. Imagine your eyelids become translucent. Doesn't seem to work so well. I mean, normally if I don't open my eyes, I still have some vision, but it's dark and it's similar to stumbling through the room with your eyes closed. Yeah, except that you still see something, but it's really not too vivid, and I don't see colors at all. So that's the problem here. How did you know how long a lucid dream lasts? Just a gut feeling. I mean, I don't have a watch there. I just try to estimate. Okay, that was short, so maybe 10 seconds, and the longest I ever had was I think 90 seconds or 100 seconds. It just felt like that. Yeah. Is it healthy the sleep periods? If you go like this. Well, maybe it isn't. There's been a lot of debate. I mean, a lot of people are doing polyphasic sleep, so it's actually something very hard to do. And well, what might happen? You might be tired throughout the day, and that actually it should work out after you practice this for some while. But if it doesn't, I mean, of course you will give it up again because nobody wants to feel tired all day. I think that's pretty much all that can happen because the brain it will take what it needs if you just are getting sleep deprived, then the dream patterns the sleep patterns will be modified, and so I don't think that it's dangerous, but I agree that it might not be too healthy. Yeah. So that's also why I'm just reluctant, or I just try this just like that, and I know that it could be unhealthy. Okay. Hard to transform in dreams because I'm pretty much always in my true form or fully draconic form. Yeah, that's great. But it doesn't. It's not the case for me. I don't know why. not on scales in lucid dreams. It's easy, but because I feel them nearly all day in real life as phantom limbs. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't. So that I don't know what I don't know why we feel different phantom limbs. This is definitely something. Okay. Is lucid dream being clear and colorful unusual, or is it dependent on if someone might have aphantasia? I don't know. I think if someone has aphantasia, they still can dream vividly. Don't know if lucid dreams are possible. Is lucid dreaming being clear and colorful unusual? Well, not if you are experienced, of course. I think then this gets really stable. And by the way, there are techniques to train your vision, your vividness of vision. But I didn't try them yet because my lucid dreams are still too unstable. So, but if you are able to do a couple of minutes lucidity, you can train that. So that is the next step. Yeah, but and yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, since there is a little bit of time, there's just one thing that hovers in my mind. Just one addition. Many people are asking, is lucid dreaming anyhow dangerous? And of course, one might get the idea if one is going that far into it, could it be dangerous? What I could imagine is that lucid dreaming might also influence your experience in the waking world. I mean, we all know that there are things like hallucinations and so on. There is even a thing like clinical lycanthropy, and I just wonder what those people experience. What in the world, yeah. So if the brain is able to produce a reality when things are not really physically there, could it happen in waking reality as well? I mean, yeah, maybe. So, where does that get us? Of course, it might be very disturbing, and well, I don't know. I just take the risk. I'm just kind of person who says, okay, let's try it out. Yeah. So let's see how far I can get. Also, I am very good at stopping things when they get dangerous. I'm very good at that. But well, if it happens to me, then I will come back to dream yoga, because actually dream yoga is exactly doing that, transporting lucid dream experiences to the waking world in order to wake you up in the waking world, yeah, to achieve that Buddhist-like awakening. And I consider myself awakened to some extent, but surely there's way to go. And I just don't know how it feels like if you are fully awakened. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you are able to produce, conjure things that feel real but are not physical at will. I don't know. And it would be another great achievement, actually. So that was just something I wanted to tell. Is there any more chatting? Oh no, I don't see any. Well, there's a long contribution in the chat, I see. Oh, was I in the wrong chat? I don't know. Well, anyhow, I think the time is up for now. Okay, I'll check the chat and I'll come back to you with some more answers. But I think the next panel is about to start. I'm not sure. Oh no, that one was cancelled, I think. Oh, anyhow, let's wrap it up. Let's call it a day. I hope you enjoyed. I pretty much think I will continue this lucid dreaming series, maybe at OtherCon, and give you the newest results. So for now, thanks you all for listening, and yeah, bye. See ya.